Hey everybody, I wanted to give you a quick tour of Love Farm, just a really brief overview, but it'll give you a better idea of what we're doing here, what we've got, where we're working on things, and I think it'll be kind of fun. So here's the house. It's actually pretty big. We might get a shot from the front to see a little bit better. A lot of projects still going on, little things being repaired. It was in extremely rough, really unlivable conditions when it was purchased about 20 years ago, and the owner, my business partner, has been working on it for that whole time, and I've been helping her out a bit as well. This is a pump house. There's a well here and a pump system inside. That's what feeds the water for the house, and also for our outdoor shower and things like that. So here's our water catchment system. We have several of these around the house. I put them up high on purpose because it allows me to, without any power, run water a longer distance. So I can run that water anywhere as long as it is lower, probably about 2 to 3 feet lower than that catchment piece up top there. If it's level or within about 2 feet, the water really kind of stops running. But we're using that for a couple of pieces. That's one collection unit. We have specific uses for that water, whereas we have some other collection units that have other purposes. Here's our smokehouse, and you'll see some pools over there. Those are for the dogs. They need a place to cool down during the day, but that's our smokehouse. We're using the attic as a drying location for the different herbs and things that we're growing here. So passion flower and hemp, and I'm sure we'll do some more in the future. We've got an outdoor hot tub, which is actually a lot nicer than I would have expected. There's our shower, our outdoor shower. It's got doors that close, hot water. It's quite nice. There's some more water collection, rainwater collection. We also collect water from our AC unit. Pulled out from an earlier video I was doing. So we collect water both from the roof when it's raining and from our AC unit when it's not raining, which is great because if we have a bit of a drought, we get about 30 gallons of water a day off the AC unit. So it's a great supplemental way to add additional water when we're not getting any from rain, because the rainwater definitely falls short. During certain times of the year, we'll get a month or two without any significant rain. So over here we have, that is a wine sap apple, and that one is a Wolf River apple. We've got a nice big yard here for the dogs to kind of do their thing. There's the house. Like I said, it's a very old house, and at least 150 or so years old, and we're doing some repairs still on the porch. I was working on those today, but the house is really cool, very unique, and it's pretty cool that it's been restored as much as it has. So you're probably seeing a boat there that just gets stored out in the field because it's easier to get to. This whole field you see is part of the farm, and we're slowly expanding how we're using it, what we're using it for. Earlier this year it was completely covered in the wild blackberries and wild pear trees that didn't produce any fruit, several other things. You can also see our beehives out there. They're a ways away, but they're tough to see. Here's where all that water that we collect in that rain barrel system, it actually gets pumped up to there. This is still kind of the fenced lawn area. There's a wildflower patch over there, mostly just to bring in pollinators, and also gives the several dogs that are here on Love Farm a place to run around and look for rodents and things like that, so it keeps them busy. And we have a gate out to the main field. This just keeps the dogs in. They get to come out into this main field occasionally as well, but when I'm working out here, I oftentimes have the gate to the road open, and I don't want them getting out in the road, so I close that one up. This is our hemp field. It's about half full right now. I don't think we're going to fill it all the way, but we got it decently filled with hemp, and there's a little bit of maintenance that's needed. We need to mow this row. The others have been mowed recently. And you'll notice our growing system is cardboard. That's my mulch system. We were intending to use wood chips, but really ran into issues with getting any delivered. So you'll see some wood chips over there, and we kind of ran out pretty quickly. So our new plants that we just planted are there. They're doing pretty well. And then we have some plants that we planted about a month ago, maybe a little more now. They're doing pretty well as well. We had some failures, some die-off. This field we found had a really low pH, so very acidic initially to start out with. And we didn't get our results back from the university extension when we would have expected to. So we kind of ended up having to rush the planting before we had results. And technically we still don't. I had to use a self-tester from the store just to figure out why we had some plants dying off. And once we got the pH thing figured out, we were able to put some lime down, and that seems to help. And we put a little bit in the hole underneath the plant, a couple inches under where we put the dirt for the plant, for these new plants. And that really has helped bring the pH up a bit and give these plants a fighting chance. And they're doing pretty well. And for our first year, I'm pretty happy with the results. It's been a bit of a struggle learning all that stuff, but we started small on purpose just to not expend too much money and effort into getting the whole thing set up. We really are on a shoestring this year to keep costs down and make sure that we're not getting into something that's just going to cost us a bunch of money and not be helpful. So a simple thing to do to keep deer and other pest animals out, for us that is really inexpensive, is it may be hard to see on camera, but we've got this deer netting. And it's about 7 feet tall, about $20 for a 100-foot section. So for this whole field, we needed, it was either 2 or 3, maybe 2.5 chunks of that deer netting. And that's been really good. I would have liked to get some type of weed barrier down on the bottom to keep things from growing up, but on a positive side, we got passion flowers and passion flower fruit growing up it, which is kind of fun. So it really hasn't been a big deal, and it's cheap enough that we can replace it next year as we need to. This was my way of connecting two sections. It works. Could be better, but it works. I put up a passion flower trellis just to give these guys an opportunity to grow, and we want to see if we can use these. We've got so many in the field, we figured it might as well grow it as a medicinal. So there's the rest of the field through there. Like I said, we're gonna hopefully expand a bit. We've got a bunch of trees for an orchard. Got those for $3.50 a piece at Walmart. You may be thinking, why would you buy crappy Walmart trees even at that price? Well, they're the variety that we needed. For this area we get cedar rust, cedar apple rust, and there were 3 varieties, which are Liberty, Winesap, and Wolf River. And those 3 varieties are, especially once they get established, they're very resistant to the cedar apple rust, which is a big problem in our area. The other reason that I got them, obviously they're really inexpensive, and what I've found is with proper care, you can really have those trees take off. You need to make sure that you unbind the roots and that you get them, that you put them in the soil the right way. I wait until the late fall to plant them. I just keep them watered in their container, and that works really, really well. So I figure even if a few die off at $3.50 a piece, we're doing pretty well. These are our beehives. We've got the one on the left here is doing very well. They seem to be very happy and coming along just fine. The one on the right, and we're new to beekeeping, so we made a few mistakes in the spring when we installed these guys, and I think that may have led to an issue here. But the one on the right has, I think, lost all of its bees. I think everything you see going in and out of there is actually just bees from the hive on the left robbing the hive on the right. I think something may have happened to the queen early on. We were never able to find her and verify that. So out here you can kind of see that's our perimeter fence. It's pretty new. We put that in probably late winter of 2018. So it's about 8 months old, 9 months old. There's our gate and things. It's done a great job. It doesn't keep deer out, but it keeps humans and dogs and most of what we're worried about out. And then that extra fence inside that I was showing you earlier keeps the deer and rabbit out of our hemp field. So anyways, I was telling you about trees earlier. We're planning on putting an orchard kind of up. There's a bit of a hill there. We may put in some swales or a swale system and put our orchard there, or we may just plant without the swale system. That's yet to be determined. But we have the trees, 33 apple trees, some peach trees as well. We'll probably interplant different things as well as nitrogen fixers, and do a permaculture orchard design where we do trios and some of the other things. There's a guy up in Canada who does a great job. I can't remember his name offhand, but I can put his information in the notes and description at the bottom of the video. And but I would highly recommend subscribing to him. He has an incredible amount of information that he puts on there. It's Stefan something or other, but like I said, I'll put that information in the notes. So that's our that's Love Farm. That's kind of what we're doing, where we're going, some of our ideas. We just are excited to share with other people what we have going on, how we're doing it, what some of our ideas are. It's pretty new, and we're being really intentional about not spending a lot of money on it. Like I said earlier, starting on a shoestring, trying to make sure that that we find the thing that works, that little niche for us, and go from there, rather than dumping a huge amount of money into one thing that may or may not work. It's kind of nice because I can work on it in the time I have, and we can do small things and make small adjustments with those things, rather than had we planted an entire field of hemp and then found out that there's an issue and lost most of it, we would have lost all our money as well. And in this case, we realized that there's going to be some losses, so we're keeping the initial inputs as far as financially and time-wise low, so that we can ramp up next year or the year after with things that work well for us, things that work well in our area, things that are profitable. So, and it's really important as you think about starting a homestead or a business that you keep that in mind, that there is a point at which for certain things you have to put money into it, and a decent amount of money and a lot of time and effort, and it may still fail, but if you can, do a test run. Try small, start small, see how it goes, and put it all in Excel and work from there. Figure out what it's going to cost you, what you can realistically make from it. Take time to put budgets and things together, because it really makes a difference in the long run, knowing exactly what your projections are, what they should be. So anyways, we're starting small. That's my advice, is to start small and try. So, and that's what we're doing here on Love Farm. We have some other other things up and coming, some things we'll love to share with you, but that's a basic rundown of what we have here and what's going on. Thanks for watching.